All right, this is the fourth in a series of videos on how to make the birdhouse final exercise for the level 2 uh, class of AutoCAD for the Shipyard Night School in Newport News, Virginia. Probably should make the attributes before I make the viewports. So let's toggle over to your handout. And let's see. The viewport should be the model number of your birdhouse. I use bird like that's the company, BH like that's the birdhouse, and 0001 like it's the first birdhouse my company's made, and whatever price. Notice it's on a red layer named attributes. Let's go back to the page of rules. Attributes must show only in the isometric viewport. Okay, we'll handle that later. See any other requirements for the attributes. Okay, there we go. Has attributes model and price on a red layer named attributes. All right, let's go back to our working project. Let's set current the attributes layer. Attributes layers current. When we can close the attributes or the layer control dialog box for now. Let's go back to our model tab. We need to create attributes. What was that? Model number and price. All right, we're already on the attributes layer. Let's go to Insert tab of the 3D modeling workspace ribbon. Create define attributes. Leave all this as it is. I don't get into that complexity. Let's see, the first one should be model number. Intentionally alternating upper and lower case to remind you that it'll all be uppercase eventually. For the prompt, let's say, what's the model number space question mark? The default, I think it's just XXX is good enough. Can't remember what I've used in the past. Well, the 0.2 is going to be probably small, but we can fix that later. Okay. Style is standard. Can't remember if there's a need for a new text style. Once you leave it as standard, probably meets the requirement. Click OK. Place it right there in front of the birdhouse. Now the handout shows it pretty big. So let's scale this guy, or better yet, click on it and change it to say 1 unit. Yeah, it's a little big. Let's say 0.5 units. There's our first attribute. Once we weld this into a block, maybe I should lop off a few of these spheres. And I'll worry about that later. Okay, there's our first attribute. Let's launch the attribute creation technique tool again. Go back to the Insert tab, click on Define Attributes in the block definition panel. That pops it again. Let's check this a line below the previous one. We can later move them, as I think my handout did. The tag would be price. Again, it'd all be in uppercase. What's the price space question mark? And put down xx.xx for dollars and cents reminder. Click OK. Not sure if it's going to come out. That's probably will come out 0.2 again. Let's see. Nope, it matched the height I changed the first one. There is our attributes on the attributes layer. Let's convert this into a block. The base point or insertion point being midpoint at the bottom of the front of the birdhouse. Okay, let's go. That involves going to create block. Hold it. Should I go to layer 0? Yeah, let's go to layer 0. Although nothing in the birdhouse is on layer 0. For good measure, blocks should be made on layer 0 and inserted on the named layer. Where was I? Oh, insert, create block. Create block. We'll call it, say, bird house. The base point will pick a point. That'll be dead center of the front of the birdhouse. Notice we're in the world coordinate system. We'll select objects. That'll be the 7, 8 pieces of our birdhouse, including the perch. And it's good measure to click the attributes in the order you want them. If you forget and move them around, AutoCAD, at least old AutoCADs, might have used the newest at the top of the list or the oldest at the top of the list. So manually pick them in the order you want them to come on the list. I believe that's all we need. Hit enter, click OK. There's the attributes. We want to follow the same precedent as the handout. Paul, Bird Company, BH hyphen 000 or 001, say. What's the price? I put $39.95. Got some inflation. I'll call it, say, $32.98. Hell, 98 cents. $42.98. Click OK. There, the new values of the attributes are shown in this block. Let's go to the layout, A size hyphen BH. There's 2 ways to draw these views. I might make another video showing the new easy way that's not near as versatile. Let's click on we need to go to the viewports layer to create the viewports in the layout. Okay, we got viewports layer current. Click on the layout tab that's blued because we're in looking at the layout now. And I think we can just make a bunch of rectangular viewports. That'll be the top view. Enter for the last used command. That'll be the front view. And this will be the right side view. And this will be the isometric-ish view. Okay, we'll double click in this one, come up here to notice you can change the visual style and the view angle, just like you could on model tab. We'll make this the top. So far, so good. Click on this. Let's make it the front. Click on this. We'll make it the right side view. And all 3 of these need to be the same. Oh, we'll make this Since we're seeing front and right side, that calls for the southeast isometric view. So you can see part of the right side, part of the front, and forward and in the top, front, right side. Okay, the isometric does not have to be to scale. Nobody's going to measure it. These three need to be the same. Center that. Let's see if a scale of 1 to 4 for all three of these will work. Okay, let's double click outside the viewport, select the viewport, change the standard scale to 1 to 4. Yeah, I think 1 to 4 will work. I don't believe I'll have to truncate the perch. Actually, we can select all three at the same time and select the same scale, 1 to 4. Okay, do we lock them? No, not yet. Being very careful not to alter the scale. I'll drag the right side view in the middle of the viewport. And double click outside the viewport to get back into paper space of the layout. I believe we can lock the viewports now because the three are at the same scale. You don't want to carelessly disrupt the scale. So I'll select all three viewports and lock them. 3 viewports selected. Display lock property, change that to yes. Now we can grip edit to ensure that each viewport shows what it's supposed to. How do we look? Okay. I don't think it's required, but the handout has these three in the hidden visual style. That is a property. Okay, unfortunately, how do you want them plotted? Let's do them individually for good measure. We'll go into the right side view, click on the visual style drop-down list and call it hidden. Okay, we need to turn off the attributes layer. Let's see, that can easily be done by freeze. While this viewport is active, we'll freeze that the layer of the attributes. Okay, over here in the layer panel, we'll click the freeze icon and come down and in the active viewport, click on the attributes. Ew. Why did that? Well, I'll undo that. Might have to fix that. Let's line up the viewports now. Oh, no, let's change the visual style of them all. Hidden. Double click there, change the visual style to hidden. Okay, we'll double click outside the viewports. So we're in paper space. You got the triangle icon in the lower left corner of your screen. All the viewports are fine, not bold. Let's raise this guy a hair up. Raise all the viewports a hair up. Okay, now let's line up the 3 orthogonal viewports. On the viewports layer, I'll draw a guideline. I want that corner to line up with this corner right here. And I want that corner to line up with that edge. Okay, we'll move this viewport so that that point is right there, lining up with the same point in the top view. Click move, we'll select the viewport, hit enter, grab the viewport at that end point, and slide the viewport over till that point lines up with that line. Okay, so far so good. Need to slightly lower this viewport. Click move, we'll select the right viewport, enter, grab it by that corner and slide the viewport down till the polar tracking line intersects that yellow guideline on the viewport's layer that never plots out. Okay. Now I expect when this prints out on paper, we're going to say, hey, the views are a tad far to the left. The white space over here is less than the white space over here. So let's drag the three viewports. Might as well include the guidelines. Drag them a hair over. That white space look about like that white space, pretty much. We'll change this viewport to the conceptual or better. Double click outside of all the viewports to get back to paper space of the layout. All that's left is getting that attributes layer frozen in the three viewports. Let me go back to the model tab. Okay, this is on layer 0. You have to stop the video. I'll try that freezing the layer again. Freeze. Oh, I know. We're clicking on the block of the attribute. The block is on layer 0. All right, not a problem. Let's go to the properties dialog box. And I want the attributes layer in the viewport. Whoa. Nope. Here we go. This column. Viewport freeze. In the current active viewport, we want the attributes layer to be frozen. There. Since the attributes was created on attributes layer, it is frozen out of the image of the block of the birdhouse block. Double click on this one, same thing. Get out of the way, double click on the right side view. And again, we can't use this icon because the entire block is on layer 0. We don't want to freeze layer 0. Well, with that viewport active, we'll click on freeze. Double click outside. Are we done? I guess this isometric could be a bit larger. Again, it doesn't have to be the same scale. I believe we are ready. Save your file. If you haven't already, name it your first name, blank space bird, blank space house. And I believe this is ready for your instructor, that is me, to come around and nitpick it. Oh, the scale is 1/4. That works. Didn't have to shorten the perch. It looks unusually large though, doesn't it? Okay, again, I think we've met the contract. I'll close the layer dialog box. The next tutorial video will show you the easy way that I don't think is as versatile as what we just did here manually with viewports. See you next video.